little something like
Hello, Literates. I'm brittwriterly, and welcome back to Writer's Ambition. For those of you hanging in since episode 1, use a real one. And for those of you just finding my humble channel, welcome. We hope you stay a while. I don't know what the algorithm is doing. My subscriber count is up and down. People coming and going. I don't know. But we here. And I do hope to try to wrestle dazzle the content this year at some point. But for those of you, the faithful few, y'all know I'm in grad school. This is my last year, and other things have to come before the virtual space. But once I have cemented those things, I do want to re-razzle and dazzle the channel. Not as in like changing it, razzle dazzle, just go back to some of the series I started, like the Within the Discourse. I had 3 episodes for that planned and burnt out before I could record a single one of them, even though they have literally been on my mind since I started that mini series a year ago at this point. There's two episodes in it, and I don't know that I made any plans for regularity. Maybe I did. Maybe I said monthly. That sounds familiar. But then I got pooped. So I do want to go back to that and execute the 3 that I had planned to do, but also, add more. I also want to go back to the I fangirl series on like things about books that I love. I only have one up there of, what was it? I fangirl over the best first sentence ever written, and it was The Color Purple by Alice Walker. You better not never tell nobody but God. And then she says, "Dear God." Yeah, I definitely, again, I have episodes that I want to do. I definitely want to do the ending of Jazz's I fangirl over the best ending. Although I'm of 2 minds, because also the ending of Song of Solomon, you can't take nothing from that ending. I'm sorry. Like, Toni Morrison can end a book. She can. So I also wanted to do that. If I had to choose, I would probably do the I fangirl over the best ending and do Jazz for that, because you talk about chef's kiss. Oh, so good. And then I would probably do Song of Solomon for I fangirl over the best bromance in literary fiction. Milkman and Guitar, please argue with someone else. Oh, so I want to do those so bad. And so I hope to be able to do those this year after I have a bit more mental bandwidth to just sit down and really do. I really just need to do a bulk recording, and maybe one Saturday I will, earlier than I would if I just was like, let me plan on when I can go back to regularly recording. Regularly recording is not happening right now, but I can make some space for a bulk record, hopefully, to bring y'all some videos that are just living my mind rent free. Anyway, this is the January HonesTEA. Now, have I been away? Yeah, sure. Now, you've seen me around, but I haven't done the HonesTEA since, when was it? November. Since November. I didn't do a December HonesTEA because reasons. Honestly, December ran away from me. Prepping for Kwanzaa, executing Kwanzaa ran away with me, and several other projects that y'all will see rolled out. Prepping for 2023 took all my December, and by the time I was like, HonesTEA, I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to let that go. So let me re-up y'all on what I had wanted to finish by the end of 2022, what I did finish by the end of 2022, and then talk about some year goals, and then talk about month goals in that order. Here we go. Okay, so the plans that I had for the end of the 4th quarter of 2022 were to finish #3rd fantasy, to finish #1st romance, to nail down my fantasy genealogy between multiple projects, and then to finalize or clarify the magic system in Tales of Eliza Black. Here's what I did. I did finish #3rd fantasy. Yay! I finished that at the end of November. I did finish Hashtag first romance. Yay! I finished that at the end of December, I want to say before Christmas. Yeah, it was like second or third week of December that I finished hashtag first romance. I was super happy about that. And I have since sent it off to an alpha reader. So we're chugging along. I am back to Tales of Eliza Black. That just happened last week, and I'm super excited about that. Okay, now goals for the year. I want to finish Tales of Eliza Black, finish the writing part of it, totally be like, yep, that's it. It has gone to, it's already been to an alpha reader, got really good notes. I want to like, yep, it's gone through betas, it's gone through the developmental editor, the copy editor, it's done, and really just focus on prepping to get it out early 2024. So I'm really, really hoping that the majority of this year is spent on the business of getting Tales of Eliza Black out, not on the writing, because I got really, really great feedback from the alpha reader, and the book feels done, which is exciting. I'm still gonna wait to hear from several beta readers. Like I'm gonna, finish the process just because I got good feedback. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself, but I am excited, and I really hope to finish Tales of Eliza Black, and by the end of the year be poised to publish. Super, super excited for that. Hope that all goes well. And when I say poised to publish, I mean I want the cover design done. I want the any sort of promo that I'm gonna do, any sort of crowdfunding through, oh my gosh, what is that website that Brandon Sanderson was like, I'm just gonna fund everybody. Haven't decided if I'm gonna do that for Tales of Eliza Black. I'm back and forth, but if I am, I hope to have that already done. The tiers of rewards are already done. All those things, like I want all that to be done. I want to have already reached out to the audiobook narrators and be on someone's calendar. Like I want all of that to be done by the end of 2023, and I think it's possible, especially if I make the most out of my time when it's off to betas. So that's goal number one, is to have Tales of Eliza Black poised to publish. I want the very, very same thing for hashtag first romance, except instead of poised to publish, I want to publish it at the end of this year. And so I'm thinking I would prefer to publish it in like November, like October, November, like fall, because it's not a Christmas romance. So I don't really want it to come out in December when all the holiday romances are making their way, because it's not that, and I don't want it to get passed over because people are into like seasonal romance at the time, which is fine and valid, but you got to think about these things. So I'm really hoping it can come out October 2023. We will see. If it's more ready in December than November, then I'll think about whether I should just let it out or wait for the holiday to pass and then just go in like January or February. We'll see. But I'm really hopeful and optimistic for hashtag first romance to come out this year, hopefully fall of 2023. So definitely stay tuned for those regular updates. She's out to her alpha reader, so I'm like, oh, they grew up so fast. Okay. And then I also want to finish a first draft of, I have so many dreams. I want to finish a first draft of hashtag second fantasy, which I hope to start in a couple of months. So because I will probably be releasing romance quicker, like the time between two romances will not be as long as the time between two fantasies. I want to have the second one like in the works before I even release the first one, because it's might not be a whole year before I release it. It could be more like 6 to 8 months. So I just want to have that really, really rolling. I think that's all for my annual goals. I think that's quite enough. But those are my major goals: to have Tales of Eliza Black poised to publish, to have hashtag first fantasy published, and then to have hashtag second fantasy first drafted, if not, in the hands of an alpha reader, perhaps even betas. Like I really want that book almost ready by the end of 2023 so that there's really not a big gap between book 1 and book 2. Those are my goals. And like honestly, if I'm like dreaming, I would prefer for 1 to be out, 2 to be done, just like waiting in the wings, and for 3 to be in the works. That's my super hope, but we'll be reasonable. But it's January, so we can be unreasonable in January and then let reality sober us sometime around August. Okay, so those are my annual goals for January. For January, I want to finish the final pass of Tales of Eliza Black. I just got it back from, I got it back from my alpha reader months ago, like last year. But I was working on #3rd-fantasy. So I was like, let me rest off of Tales of Eliza Black, which was good because I'd been doing a lot of work on it and I needed and by the time I got back to it, I was yearning for it, and that's a better space to write from than being fatigued of a project. So I finally went back to it like a week or so ago, and I want to finish the final pass of it and send it off to betas by the end of February. I also want to revisit the fantasy genealogy. I did not do that. The nailing down the fantasy genealogy, didn't do that last year, which because like going back to Tales of Eliza Black is what would require me to do that, and I just am doing that. So finalizing the fantasy genealogy and finalizing the magic system for Tales of Eliza Black, I want to do those things this month. Now, the nailing down the magic system for Tales of Eliza Black is most certainly going to happen. The fantasy genealogy, nailing down all of it, that has a high probability of happening, but it may still not. But we'll see. That's a goal. I want to keep rolling that goal forward until it's done. So, there it is. And then the third and final thing is I want to give thought to authorpreneurship. This is not my term, right? I'm borrowing it from Monique something. I'll write her name and link her social in the description box. I want to say it's like Monique Mensah, but I could be wrong. But she's on Instagram and she is like a mentor, promoter, editor. She makes her business helping self-published authors self-publish, particularly like new self-published authors, helping them get their ISBN codes and make sure that their cover looks together and not homemade, those sort of things. She helps, and she says you need, if you are self-publishing, you are taking hold of a business brand, and you need to think about it as authorpreneurship. So I need to start thinking about that, particularly because, as I said in my annual goals, I want Tales of Eliza Black employees to publish. So that means I need to be doing all of those things, securing the copyright, the ISBN codes, cover designer, all of these different things I really want to be intentional about, and in two major ways. One, I'm thinking of making a website. I know that it needs to happen. I'm just trying to decide on when. And then also thinking about a Patreon. And so to that end, as I close, would y'all support an author Patreon? Would you be into it, or would you be like, TBH, I would love that for you, but I probably wouldn't be a patron. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's like it's a space for creatives to put their content. They have tiers of patrons, and the tiers depend on the person creating the Patreon. There could be like a $2 tier, which grants you access to something, and then like a $5 tier that grants you all the things of the $2 tier and also XXNX, an $8 tier that grants you all the things in the access of the $5 and the $2 and also XXNX exclusive content, right? So it's a way for creatives to get paid for their content a lot faster and more equitably than YouTube will ever pay content creators on here. So if you're like, I would love for you to have a Patreon, I just probably won't be a patron, but that's no tea, no shade, I just probably won't subscribe. If you're like, yes, you should start a Patreon and I would be a patron, I'm going to pin a comment below asking the question. And if you're like, yes, I would totally be a patron, give it a thumbs up. because I'm thinking about it, because, you know, right, that's more content creation. But the drive is different if there's actually going to be money behind it. So let me know if y'all would actually be a patron. Those are the things that I'll be thinking about, though, that I want to think about more in January. Making a website and what sort of content would be in a Patreon. I've asked all this question before, but I'm asking it again. I don't even remember if anyone really answered last time. Like 2 people made comments, but now I'm not asking for comments. I'm asking for thumbs up or thumbs down. So, or not thumbs down. You don't have to thumbs down. If you're not going to, just don't thumbs up. And if you are, thumbs up. Okay. So, your girl is back. Not sorry for the delay off being a human, but now I'm back for the January HonesTEA. We should be regular from here on out. Thank you all so much for watching. That's all from your girl. Comment prompt? Not really, except for feel free to share your New Year's goals. Are you doing the whole New Year's goal thing? Are you more like, New Year's goals don't work out for me, I'm just going to go with the flow and set them and achieve them in my mind. I'm not going to formalize it, whatever. How are y'all approaching New Year's goals? Are you doing New Year's goals? If you care to share, I care to know. Okay, that's all. Bye-bye.